So I'm just adding a few of these here and there, and you can see it looks a lot better. So I'm going to glaze on top here, just a little, and then just soften the edges. We have a guest who's joining us because he had a very short nap and that was enough for him today. Is that right, Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mommy's almost finished, so that's good news. So I'm just touching here, and as you can see, the quinacridone gold shoots out and it makes it a lovely kind of color. So I'm just going in here and darkening a little bit here and there just to give it a bit more interest, and just making sure there is not too much white left, but I don't mind if there is a little bit of white because I do like that look, but I don't want that to be too much. So there's a lovely contrast now. However, the center of the flower is looking a lot more vivid than the actual flower, so I'm going to go back in to my magenta and I'm going to mix it up with the quinacridone purple again, and I will risk that sort of glazing effect that it has on paper, and I'm just going to very lightly do dry on dry. I'm not going to add more water, and I'm just going to go around the petal or these little centers, and I'm just going to move it out and soften it like so, and I'm going to do the same over here. And I'm going to just add a little bit of this color here and there where I can see it's needed, just to bring it in and make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm just softening the edges right here, but keeping the highlights like so, and that's the last flower that I need to glaze. So if it's a little bit of glazing, it's not too bad, it doesn't affect it too badly, but if it would be sort of adding a lot of water and all of that, then you could see that the paper would not be happy with doing that. So I'm just, after adding that, the color, the glaze, I'm just either pulling it out or I'm softening the edges and letting the color move by itself. It depends what I want to achieve. If I want to keep some of the highlights on the petals, then, you know, I don't allow the water to go over the white area. So the final thing would be the green bits. Now they are nice and yellow greenish, and only these bits are dark green. So I'm going to really quickly mix up a lovely green in this area, which is I'm going to use that, not this color, the one next to it. Okay, Mason wants to come in.
Yeah.
Do you want to say hi, Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah, silly. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. All right. So Mason is sitting on Mummy's lap now, and hopefully won't be kicking the camera tripod. And Mummy can finish. So this is the permanent green olive, and I'm going to add it to this area right here and I'm going to now add quite a bit of the quinacridone gold, and it's a beautiful color. I'm going to use the wet and wet technique. Good boy. And just touch these bits. As you can see, they're very small, so there isn't much that's needed, but we have 4 of them, and just going to do that. And the reason I'm doing wet and wet is just because the watercolor flows beautifully, and I like seeing the watercolor doing its job and flowing and blending and giving a softer edge. I'm just going to touch it gently, and that is pretty much it. Very simple, very easy. If you want to highlight, again, leave some areas, make them some of the areas darker and the other lighter, and that will give you a bit of a highlight. To do highlight, you just can dry your brush and pick up from one side. Always make sure you follow that rule. As I was trying to explain what to do with the shadow, the memory card got full, so I'll try to explain again. Basically, to avoid like a flat looking situation that I have going on right here, I'm just going to zoom in for you. What helps to do is just to add a variation of light and dark values, because that is when you bring it out and you make it look a little bit more realistic and three-dimensional. Actually, I just realized I left a petal right here, and I'm just going to go in and finish that. And so once you do that and you have some petals, you've got some white areas, some petals you have some darker areas, then that way it looks like the light is shining onto an object, and you create shadow and light, and it makes it look a lot nicer and more interesting. So in this case, I'm going to look at my subject and kind of figure out where the shadow and where the light is. Now here it's going to be a little bit difficult because it's all kind of seems to be dark because of the how I'm holding the flower. So to simplify that, what I could do is just choose one side which I'm going to put shadow in, and the other side which is going to be light. And also keep in mind, if this bit is under the flower and the light is shining from above, it means that the majority of this bit will be darker anyway. So I'm just going to mix up that green once again and see what I can get. Mason, are you enjoying watercoloring with us?
Gardening.
Yeah, Mason says he agrees. The shadow needs to go on the left, right? So I'm just going to do it nice and simple. This is again, if you struggle with observing and finding a shadow, just do like this. Just pick one side, and that will be already better than not having anything at all. So I'm going to now soften the edge right here and leave the first glaze as it was, and that will give us an idea, or it will make it look like it is a highlight already there without you needing to do anything else. So you can see I need a little bit of darkness right here, and I'm going to just add the watercolor like so, and that is it. To finish this lovely little flower, I actually really like it. I didn't think it would come out as nice as it does. I like the colors of it working together. I'm going to go back into that permanent green olive in a separate area right here, and this time I'm going to add a little bit of the that maroon, the paraline maroon that we use for the centers of the flowers, just on the tip of my brush, very little, and I'm going to add it into here, and that has graded out. So to warm it up, I'm going to go back into quinacridone gold hue. This will take you a few kind of goes to achieve the right coloring here. So this is nice, but I still want to mute it down, and I'm going to go into that maroon again, and now it's perfect. It's got that rosemary green. So now, because these are very small, I'm just going to go in with my brush and just do that. I'm just going to connect the little bits, and you could go for a finer brush. Oh, are you yawning, Macy? Did you have a nice nap? Yeah. Okay, good boy. And so, but I'm just kind of, you know, trying to use just the very tip of mine. By the way, the size of my brush is the 3 round, so it's not a big brush anyway. The tip is really worn at this point, so I can't get too fine lines, if that makes sense, but I can get something fine enough. And because the fountain pen already helped me a lot by getting these bits, what I then can do is just you know, kind of go like this, and that will be enough. So if I see I want to darken it slightly somewhere and go back and add a bit of more color, I can do that, and just like that. I don't need to do that everywhere, but if I want to, I can, and that will give you a nice diversity. Once it dries, some areas will be darker, some will be lighter, and again, it won't look too flat without you needing to do too much to it. I'm just going to add some on the ends and bottom of the flowers, and that should be it. So that is my wax flower or Chamelaucium, I believe it's pronounced. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Do you want to say bye, Mason?
Bye.
Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.